At the start of the race, John had felt sluggish, his breathing was off, and his legs were heavy. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't quite seem to focus his attention, and all he could dwell on was dread and thoughts of failure. Although he was a level 6 beginner, his current performance would put him on par with a level 3 beginner at best. As Nathan finished 5 laps, the muddy track had disappeared, this time replaced with a series of hot coals that students were expected to leap over. Nathan, however, simply smiled as he raced across the hot coals without fear. Despite the heat, Nathan seemed utterly untroubled by it as he picked up speed. Many laps behind him, the faster runners tried to copy Nathan, only to yelp in pain as the coals scorched their feet. As most of the runners slowed down even further to jump over the coals, Nathan sprinted faster and faster until his peripheral vision blurred. The audience watching couldn't believe the electrifying performance they were witnessing. As Nathan raced across a particularly huge section of coals, the crowd roared with admiration. When Nathan reached his final lap, the obstacles on the track changed one final time. This time, large spikes shot out of the ground every 20 feet. In order to avoid them, students had to wait a few moments before they retreated back into the ground. Students who timed their movements poorly could get skewered by the spikes. The crowd gasped at the final challenge of the race as Nathan charged toward the first stretch dotted with spikes. As Nathan approached, the spikes shot out of the ground. Rather than wait for them to lower, Nathan leaped into the sky and arched his back to clear them before landing and smoothly transitioning into a run. The crowd cheered their new champion as other runners, many laps behind him, admired Nathan's skills. Nathan continued leaping over the spikes until he crossed the finish line and quickly caught his breath. Nathan had completed the 10-lap race in the time it took most runners to finish 5 laps. Nathan smirked as John Crane walked the course behind. John was only on the 3rd lap, and by that point, he was fighting back the urge to give up. Nathan took the 10 ribbons he'd received and trotted over to the race's officials' table. The official, who had been chatting with a few audience members, hadn't witnessed Nathan's performance. The race official's brow furrowed when Nathan tapped him on the shoulder. "Hello, sir. I believe I'm supposed to report to you now?"
"What do you mean, boy? Don't you understand you're supposed to finish the race and then come over?"
"But, sir, I have finished the race." The race official scoffed. He couldn't believe it.
"Bull crap. You must have cheated or something. Nobody could finish this quickly."
Nathan held up the 10 ribbons around his neck as proof and smiled at the official. "I promise you, sir, I did not cheat. Please, check my ribbons. The finish line judge will attest to my statements." The race official looked over to the finish line, where his subordinate gave him a thumbs up. The race official shook his head in amazement.
"Very well then, lad. You must really be something else."
The race official took out Nathan's file from a stack of papers on his desk and marked it with a special stamp, giving Nathan a perfect score. He held the stamped file out to Nathan and smiled.
"Congratulations, young warrior. Here, take this and go on to the next round of the exam."
"Thank you, sir. I will." Nathan saluted the official and then headed over to one corner of the plaza where a massive sand pit had been built. As he arrived at the sand pit, the second-round officials waiting nearby were shocked. A few of them voiced their surprise to one another.
"Heavens, watch over us. For a warrior that young to have such strength, I doubt we could complete the first round as fast as he just did, and we're 20 years his senior. Could it be that Godric's land is home to a future champion? A super genius fighter that one finds only once every 100 years?
As Nathan approached the head official for the second round, it was clear that they had yet to finish their preparations for the event. Typically, they'd have at least another hour or two to get ready. Nathan, more than a little confused, wondered aloud if he was in the right place. "Is this where the strength stage is supposed to take place?" The second-round official squinted at Nathan as he walked into the sand pit.
What examination are you here to test for exactly? You must be lost. If you're looking for the race stage, it's down over there. Oh, no, sir. I've already finished the race stage. I'm looking for the second round stage, the strength competition. Really? Honestly? Already? Yes, sir. Honestly. Well, then, you're not lost. You've come to the right place, then. Here, let me see your file.
Nathan handed the second round official his file. The official scoured the document to ensure it was legitimate, then gasped as he saw that Nathan had been given a perfect score on the first round.
Nathan Hayfield, right? Well, we aren't quite ready just yet for everybody, but I guess since you're here so early, it won't hurt to let you continue on alone. Pick the heaviest boulder in the sand pit you can carry, and as long as you're able to lift it up over your head 100 times, you'll pass. All right. Thank you, sir.
Typically, the boulders would have been in a neat column in the sand, with the boulders lined up from smallest to largest and lightest to heaviest. Because the officials weren't ready, all the boulders were still piled up in a jumbled mess together by the edge of the sand pit. Nathan examined the pile of boulders and frowned. The second official noticed Nathan's look.
Is there a problem, young warrior? Yes, excuse me, but which of these boulders is the heaviest?
The second official stared blankly at Nathan for a moment, then pointed to a massive boulder at the very back of the rock pile.
That big one back there is over 6,000 pounds. But don't bother yourself with it. We just keep it there as a humble reminder that one's strength always has a limit. Would it be all right if I chose that one, sir? All right. Son, if you can lift that boulder over your head once, I'll give you a perfect score right now.
Nathan nodded. He stepped forward and loosely gripped the edges of the boulder. The few onlookers by the sand pit chuckled at the sight of this little teenager gripping a rock 6 times his size. Nathan took a deep breath. His feet burrowed deep into the sand under the immense weight above him as his muscles flexed. In a single fluid motion, the massive boulder lifted up over his head. The huge rock remained perfectly balanced over his body and did not waver even slightly. Nathan smiled at the small crowd's shocked reaction. His relaxed face told them all everything they needed to know. This wasn't even close to the limit of his real power. Rather than immediately set the boulder down, Nathan proceeded to swiftly lift it up and over his head 100 times. In a few short minutes, Nathan set the boulder down and wiped away a single bead of sweat on his forehead. The second round official kept a calm outward appearance, but internally, his heart beat fast. His brain surged with emotions, trying to process what had just happened.
Incredible. I even told him he only needed to lift the boulder once, but he did the 100 lifts anyway. Just for the hell of it. Who is this kid exactly?
The second round official smiled as he came up to Nathan and inspected the massive boulder.
Fantastic form, young man. Truly remarkable. Let me just inspect your work here. There's no way he cheated, right? Could he have somehow switched out our boulder in the dead of night with a fake one? Is that even possible? Perhaps I should check to make certain.
The second round official felt the cool stone under his palms and shook his head. He took a deep breath and tried to lift it himself, but even with every muscle bulging, he could barely move it, let alone pick it up. A few nearby witnesses laughed at the absurdity of it all. Somehow, this 14-year-old kid could lift a massive boulder 100 times without difficulty, while a fully grown warrior could only make a fool of himself as he leaned against the boulder and tried to use his body weight to make it bud. Finally, the second round official sighed and gave up. If it weren't for the fact that the man knew all students' credentials were heavily inspected, he would have assumed that Nathan was actually a powerful warrior well into his 20s.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.